Good morning, and I hope you've been well, and this is part 111 of the Pokemon Rejuvenation V13.5 Let's Play. Set mode, no items, so yeah. So before we do get into today's episode, I do want to show you guys the remote PC real quick, and show you guys what I re-rolled for, and that is a shiny Delpha. Thank you again to the longtime viewer for leaving that comment and letting me know that I could have re-rolled for a shiny Delpha. Very much appreciate it, mainly because I did have a goal to not only get every single starter that is available within the game, but to get the shiny variant as well, and it would have sucked to continue the story and then learn that I could have gotten the shiny and then had to go back to redo some stuff just to re-roll to get this shiny version. So yeah, again, thank you for that, very much appreciate it. I don't know really why I didn't think I couldn't get a shiny Delpha. I guess because of it being like a new scene and not really being used to it, and I didn't really know you were able to get a Delpha when you completed all of that with a certain Hat Man is what I'll call him, not to spoil him to, you know, new viewers that may be new to the game, but yeah, I guess I just wasn't really thinking at the time. But again, thank you to the longtime viewer, very much appreciate it. So yeah, now the next thing and final thing that I want to get into is the side quest. Long story short, we're not doing it this episode or the next episode. We're going to wrap up this chapter, and then after that we're going to do a lot of videos dedicated to playing catch-up on the side quest. Now some viewers that may be watching this may be thinking, why? What happened? Plain and simply, I'll just show you guys here. This gate is closed until further notice. Sorry for any inconvenience. Because of the Grand Dream Ball explosion, I'm not allowed to enter the city, so yeah, that is where I blundered heavily. Yes, I could go back to an old save and start it all before the Grand Dream Ball, you know, explodes. I just didn't really feel like doing that. I could have, I'm just not going to. I'm really excited to see the new like story within this next chapter, because a lot of things go down within this chapter. So it works out and I get to see all of that. So yeah, I assume it's mostly going to be the same, but with some new additions is what I'm thinking. Maybe I'm wrong and they rewrote it for the most part, or rewritten it, sorry, for the most part, but we'll see. I'm really excited for it, so it works out either way. And once we finish up this chapter, we'll dedicate a lot of episodes to just doing side quests and whatnot with Grand Dream City, Route 7 and 8 with like the Kimono Girls, the Oshawott quest, Ben's Stolen Miltank, Strange House, and then of course going on to, you know, help center requests for Neo, East Garden City, etc, etc. So yeah, with that being said and done, I think that's pretty much it for the rants. Sorry if there are some people that were looking forward to some quests. I made a mistake, apologies for that. I just wasn't really thinking at the time, so yeah, but I promise this will be a let's play that we get into pretty much everything, whether it's quest or stories, so we'll get there when we get there. Team Zen, I knew something felt fishy about this. It's a trap. Hey. Hello. Guys, it's fine. Trust me. She's telling the truth. Ren, you're here too? Yes. I know it's a lot, but we're actually here to help. I'd actually be preferable if you just heard us out before you went ballistic. I mean, to be fair, I don't blame like Rihanna's and Hugh's, you know, outburst, because we're kind of in, you know, enemy territory, so we're kind of at a disadvantage. So I get it, but again, Nastasia is going to be one of those people that, you know, she's like, think about it this way. Before you go crazy, let's just look at the facts, hear me out, and then we'll go from there. So, I understand both sides, so yeah. Now, I will say as well, I really like how they redone the inside. I think they had this on their Rejuvenation site, well, the Reborn one, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere. I might be wrong on that, but I really like how they redid the inside, because it looked a lot different than the older versions, like V13 and backwards. So I like how they redone it. And of course, something that I brought up on the last episode, I'm curious about a certain doctor, because back then he was never within, Nastasia's ship here. So I know some certain things that do happen within the game at this point in the chapter. I won't get into it right now, but I'm curious on those events with the doctor being here as well. I'll leave it at that. Before the exposition, I'm waiting for data, tomato, tomato, however you want to pronounce it. I got the data you asked for, Nastasia. Alan, there's so much I want to tell you about my adventure. I've been through Alita, the data. Oh, right. Thank you. I like how, Sharon kind of like moved off to the side a little bit. So if we can gather around the table, I can begin my explanation. Right, so where shall I begin? That's interesting. So back then, you didn't really get one of these things. Why are you here? So that's a very valid question. But as you know, Malia, Alice, and Alan were severely hurt. The latter two aren't in our interest, but Malia, if she dies, then our plans sink. We can't have that. So here's the thing that really makes it interesting to me is, how do I want to word it? I mean, we could do like a spoiler rant. Yeah, heavy spoilers real quick. It's just something that I want to talk about. If you don't want to listen, that's totally fine. Go to the comment section below. So yeah, again, heavy spoilers, you've been warned. Okay, so it's something that I've always wondered about is why Malia, Alice, Alan, and Aaron technically are, pieces of the archetype too, right? Because with, Indrid and Anatha, you have, and by the way, heavy spoilers, but with Indrid and Anatha, you have, the archetype. It was within his possession. Anatha cast the spell from the witch. He fell in love with her. They wanted children. He used the archetype split into 4 pieces, because I safely assume he can't have children, because I would safely assume that's because of him being Yveltal deaf. He can't, create life, with somebody. So they used used the archetype split into 4 pieces, created 4 children from the archetype. You have, Maria, Arena, her actual name, or Arena, however you want to pronounce it, Alice, Allen. Malia technically is not one of the 4 children. Now you may be wondering, how, where does Malia play into this? I'll get into that in a moment. I know I talked about it before, and I'm going to be repetitive, but we'll get into that in a moment if you haven't heard it yet. Anyways, let's just, I don't want to get super long with it. Plain and simply, I've gone on this rant before. I'm going to keep it super simple. Let's just say, everything plays out, and then there comes a point where, the spell dies off because Anatha got killed by the officer because of Gardevoir being like, oh, Indrid, our plans, you're now a family man. No. And then she did that, set it all up. The spell is gone. Indrid is like, grr, I hate people. I'm going to send you all away. Yada, 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 for my love of Arceus, and yada, yada, yada. All that plays out, and let's just skip far down the line. You have, the prologue, for an example. Maria is about to get sacrificed. Aaron, Alice, and Alan, they're in the unknown dimension. They're out of the picture. They can't really do anything about it with what he's doing. Somehow the spell got interrupted with him trying to sacrifice her. Whether that's Nimra, Madame X, or somebody else, I don't know. But somehow get interrupted. I assume the one girl, Maria, split into 2, if I had to guess. Malia and Marionette. And that pretty much, I think, feeds into the idea of why Madame X needs Malia the most, is because of the split of the 2 girls. Now, again, a lot of people think Marionette is Madame X. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I really don't know. There's so many pieces that fit, but the more that I play this game, a lot of the popular fan theories like Aaron, Malia, Maria, I just don't really think it's them. I don't think she's one of them. I really don't. I think it's going to be some weird oddball person that really isn't expected to be the identity of Madame X. But again, I could be wrong. But again, it's fun to speculate and think about these kind of things. And again, if it is one of those characters, it wouldn't surprise me at all. It really wouldn't. It fits the bill for a lot of them. But the more that I play this game, I just don't think it's one of them, one of those three. But anyways, or well, not like Malia particularly, but some people say a different alternate time Malia. I don't really think she's that either, but it does fit the bill. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, so be it. It's not really surprising either way. I can see it being her. But regardless, enough of that. Um, Malia, though, it's interesting that, again, she's like, I don't really care about Alice and Alan. We don't really care about them. Same with Aaron. Yada yada. They died. Boo hoo. Sorry. I only care about Malia. And I think because of that idea, and again, I might be wrong on the whole idea, but let's just go off of that idea that something happened, that Malia came into existence, whether it's from the two, with the one girl splitting into two, or Variety just was like, here, take this random blonde girl. I don't know. Somehow she appeared in the picture. Don't know how it happened. It happened though. But anyways, I really do feel with the another heavy spoiler, the Genesis syndrome, I think fits into that idea too. That something is wrong with Malia. She's going to die, right? Well, we don't know that was well, we kind of do because of the Genesis syndrome and whatnot. Pretty much, we don't know when it's going to happen, but she is dying. So with her, manifesting, the golden light, Arceus' power, yada yada yada, Madame X is like, crap. It now awoken. Now we're on a deadline because at any given point, if she doesn't understand that power, she could just die, and our plans, yeah, we're screwed. So there is importance with Malia and her light specifically. It's kind of odd because you would think there'd be importance to Aaron, Alice, and Alan because they're a part of it as well. But there is something odd with Malia that they need her specifically. And I think a big part of that is the Genesis syndrome and with the whole marionette thing. And possibly my theory of the two girls like being like split pretty much. Instead of like originally it was, Maria, but now you have Marionette and Malia. So yeah, but the weird thing is like Marionette was Maria because like Indra just started calling her Marionette for some reason. That I don't know why. I really don't know. But it just kind of happened randomly. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I just it's hard to piece it together because there are holes and there are things that we don't know yet to why Malia is the most important out of the three. But if I had to guess, it has to do something with Marionette. That would be my guess. What it is specifically, I don't know. We can speculate all night long, but I just thought I'd share my opinions and just go on a ramble, so yeah. Alrighty, we are out of spoiler territory. Sorry for the long rant there, but I really wanted to talk about that because why not? If she dies, then our plans sink. We can't have that. So with that in mind, I assume you can come to conclusion that we are here to help save Malia and Alice and Alan by extension. Sorry, Alan and Alice. Erin's body could not be recovered, so sorry to say, but she's gone. Erin, I'm so sorry. Right, so where shall I begin? Where are my friends? Malia, Alan, and Alice are being held within status pods here on the ship, on my ship. They are being kept alive by those pods, but they're supposed to be powered with hospital generators. Clearly, we don't have that, so we're on a strict schedule here. Still, those pods are of my invention. They should be able to last a sufficient amount. Right, so where shall I begin? What's the mission? Okay, so this is going to get quite a bit lengthy, but let's start with some backstory. A long time ago, a pyramid suddenly emerged from the ground at the very north tip of the Badlands. This place is called... Now, I don't even know how you pronounce this. Ecclesia pyramid? I'm just gonna say, I don't know, E pyramid. Although the pyramid emerged, it was locked until, no, I have that right, until very recently. Thanks to Ren's proficient intel skills, we've learned that the Spring of Rejuvenation is located there. To make a long story short, we're bringing those three to the Spring of Rejuvenation to heal them. The status pods are powered through the ship while we're docked here. But when we get there, we will only have 2 hours to get them from here to the spring. As for why we can't just fly directly to the pyramid, well, I'll get into that later. Right, so where shall I begin? I think that's pretty much it. Right, so with that all being said and done, we're asking you to truce with us for the time being. Alright, I died. Had to get some water. I'll take the efforts of both Team Zen and you all to make this work. It will take... I cannot read today. It'll take the efforts of both Team Zen and you all to make this work. I think I read that all wrong, sorry. What do you say? Fine. And I believe that's the one that'll get you the most points. Let me take a peek real quick. Just gotta pull it up. And... yeah, there's no ways -2. Fine is +2 Alita, +3 Ren. Okay. I'm glad to know that you are at least a little bit sensible. We'll be off immediately then. I'll explain the entire game plan on the way. So this is how things are going to go. Oh no. That came from the storage unit? Alon, Alita, check that out. For a moment. Real quick, I want to talk to everybody. You ain't allowed in the pit, go away. Does anyone really know how to fly this thing? Not so sure. Somebody does. That was very scary sound, don't you agree, Alon? Are you afraid? Fearful? If someone attacks you, just call for us or something. On second thought, nah, don't call us. We won't make it in time. Go check out that noise right now. The pods here were the same pods we used to try and restore petrified individuals. Unfortunately, the pods work by recycling the person's own energy or life force for those with a little bit of imagination. You can imagine why this wouldn't work with an individual who's petrified, so it merely acts as a safe unit. This is kind of spooky. Wonder what that noise was. Be careful, you never know. Why's everyone getting their panties in a twist over a little noise? It's probably Eradicate or something. Just shoo it away. If you are in trouble, just call my name. I'll come running. Thank you, Ren. Oh, Autono. Did you find anything? Alon, I ran into Kreese during my journey, and he let me borrow his partner's Autono. Well, that's cool. Oh, probably Martin. Which, honestly... no, we've only seen him with that one little... a scene where Kreese called him on his phone. Right. I really do hope they add him more, maybe within this game. If not, at least the next chapter. Because I know like they added him, but there's barely been anything about Martin at all. Which again, to be fair, this game is very large and it's kind of, difficult to like, introduce a new character without disrupting the story that's already been created, so I get it, but hopefully we do see him soon. She excels at healing and has been a great addition to the team. Right, we have a mission, let's get going. Real quick. Grab that there. Just in case. Oh right, I still have this team. That's okay. Status pod Alice, status critical. Status pod Malia, status critical. I don't know, seems to be managing the status pods. Status pod Alan, status critical. Critical, sorry. Okay. Alright, these two. Will you just stop? Aw man, we got stowaways. Wait a minute. What are you doing latching onto me like this? No one touches the Adam Might without his permission. If you want an autograph, it's gonna have to wait till later. I'm serious. That's it. Get off. Now. There, isn't that better? Geez, lousy. You're clingy. Geez Louise, sorry. That's what it said. I can't believe it. Adam, Braxton. So you've heard of me. What am I saying? Of course you've heard of me. I'm the Adam Might Have, after all. Greatest trainer in all of Avia. Thank you very much. I like the little sprite there of him. But, didn't you lose to Alon? What? Nastasia had the tournament on. I was watching the entire match. Details. That fight was rigged. Anyways. Is something the matter, Braxton? You can talk to me. We're friends. Why aren't you talking? Where's that translator Saki made for you? This isn't good. I won't be able to understand you without that. Come on, let's see if Nastasia can do anything about it. Hold on, this is weird. Adam, do you not recognize me? What's going on with you? And what are you two doing in here? Recognize you? Let me see. Nope, sorry, I got nothing. Anyway, this ship looked kinda whack, so I wanted to check it out. That's when that Braxton grabbed onto me. Okay, let's see what Nastasia has to say about all of this. You know, I've always wondered how he was able just like to sneak on the ship like this, same with Braxton, without creating a commotion. I assume Nastasia had to be in like a different room maybe. It is kind of goofy to think about. But alrighty then. Let's go get the news to Nastasia and all of them. And that's basically what happened. Normally, I'd be annoyed, but this couldn't be more beneficial. Right, okay. That's kind of cool. So that was definitely one of the things that I was thinking, because you have the doctor there, you have Braxton there. If you don't remember on the episode with Lavender and whatnot, we escaped using Garatina's help. The Garatina, disappeared without us, leaving us, to just try and run away. Lavender unfortunately got caught. The doctor here, oh my god, what is his name? I should not be misremembering his name. Oh my god. It's not Isaiah. Well, no. Isaiah, no. Isaiah's the father, which is mentioned before, within the game. Isha. Right, okay. It's interesting how Isha here, and Braxton are kind of like in the same room. Interesting. Braxton, what's going on? What's wrong? It's probably just hysteria. Understandable, of course, in this situation. She would just be able to tell us, but she's missing the communication device handed to her by Saki Blakery. I see. Now he recognizes her. Okay. Because, like, back then he's like, it's just a Braxton, whatever. But now he's like, oh. You're that one. Crap. Yes, that's right, but how did you know that? I have a very detailed report on each and every one of you. This is included with photographs, behavior analysis. It means she has all of your information logged down in her database, which means that was able to notice the difference between Braxton now and the one that she had noted. Yes. That. I'm not sure how I feel about knowing that information. It exists already. Get over it. As for this Braxton, I'll see what I can muster up in my lab. It's going to take a while, and I still have to tend to Gira's recovery, so it'll take a while. Now that all of those distractions are done with, how about we proceed finally? Yes? Good. Get it rolling. What? What's happening? I think that means we're just moving. Oh, phew. Thought we were going to get teleported into another dimension. Children, enough chatter. Let's hear what Nastasia has to say. Ahem. This is where we are currently. the Grand Dream Stadium. Our destination is all the way north from here. This place marks the location of the pyramid, which is our ultimate destination, but unfortunately not our only one. And sorry about that, it seems I'm messing up a lot of sentences today. The pyramid of the path to the pyramid is currently in the control of Bladestar, and somehow Bladestar was able to sneak into our labs and steal a vial of Rift Matter. Using that Rift Matter, they've created their own Rift being capable of keeping us out of that area. The sandstorm is able to produce will just send our ships flying into the earth with incredible speed. It's inconvenient, but it brings our first destination to all the way down here, just north of Alamissa. This marks the beginning of an area known as the Zone Zero. Oh man, what are we gonna have to walk all the way there? Sorry, are we gonna have to walk all the way there? If it's what has to be done, then yes, but I have a different plan. Alright, I'm back. Sorry for the pause there. From this point, we'll separate the team into groups. Team A will consist of Ren, Alan, and Alita. Team B, Rhodia, Hugh, and Rihanna. Team C, Adam, Sharon, and Ellie. Braxton can join as well, but that's optional. At our first destination, we will drop off Team A to look for and destroy the rift. Their mission will be to find the rift Bladestar created and destroy it. Team B will follow behind them to make sure we haven't skipped over anything. What about Team C, yo? What's our job? Ah yes, Team C. I've created this very special and important role for the three of you specifically. Your job is to not do anything dumb and stay on standby in the event of one team failing their mission. I've always loved that scene with Nastasia just messing with them. Once the rift is destroyed, Team A will continue on and Team B and C will regroup back to the airship. We will regroup and rendezvous with Team A at the pyramid. Are there any objections to this plan? Not really, no, but what's going to happen once we get there? Let's worry about getting there first. They'll remember asking you, but okay, go off. Defeating the rift was Alan and I's original job, so this works out perfectly. Just leave it to us, we'll take care of everything. Team B stands for Team Best. Best team is best. Thanks, I despise it. Now that we're all familiar with what we need to get done, we can disperse. It's going to take us about 8 hours to reach our destination, so go do something productive. I'll make an announcement when we are about to land. I will say, it's really interesting with, let me just read this real quick. I really want to go over with you guys a really cool theory. The one that like helped me out with like the Delpha, the shiny one. I really want to read one of his theories within one of the comments on one of the videos. Like talking about Nastasia and whatnot. And like give credit and whatnot and kind of like get into all of that. But let me wait for now. Let me read these guys' text real quick. This is a pretty nice place. Maybe I'll take a quick nap. Alice and Alan are in these pods. I didn't know them well, but they were fun to have around. They didn't deserve this. No one deserves this. They survived. They were lucky. Let's just take that luck and turn it into a full-blown miracle, yeah? Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Rihanna. I feel like you're trying to tell me something, but I don't really get it. But don't worry, Nastasia's working on a nifty little device for you. After that, you can tell me whatever it is you need. Poor Braxton. It's terrible what Bladestar has done. Malia, Alice, and Alan, and even Aaron, though we can't find her. If it turns out she died, I swear I'm going to avenge her. Oh, sorry, Alan. I heard Ren wanted you to go upstairs. I think Nastasia wanted to show you something. This is all so messed up. Can we really heal them? Alright, so you're just chilling in there. Right. You guys normally want to battle, right? Right. I can't believe we're working with Team Zen. Don't think for a second this truce means we should trust them. These are dire circumstances, but I'm not taking my eyes off of them. Which you shouldn't. Before I... Because I'm pretty sure I can do all of this without skipping the battle. Real quick, let me take a look here. I want to go to... Take a peek. Let me see. Wasn't that one, it was... How long ago was it? Here it is. Okay, I wanted to pull up the commenter's comment real quick. Before that, we'll get into this real quick and then I'll probably go in another spoiler rant. And of course, again, I total credit to him. I won't say his username just in case, because I know maybe some don't want their username said within videos, but I will give credit to him and then add on to it with what I feel about it and whatnot, so yeah, wouldn't we get into all of that? Surely creating a translation brace for that Braxton is a waste of precious time. We should be focusing on the ones who are hurt and your personal projects. I don't need your time management advice. Stay in your place and maintain the pods like I asked you to in the first place. Very well. I expect your arrival. Come here. Don't be too intimidated by her, Alon. She's a total softie. She just won't admit it. Ren, I think it may have slipped my mind, but I recall programming self-destruct somewhere on your system. Now all of your functions can be accessed from my PC, so... Hypothetically speaking, if I were to log on and... I get it. I'll keep my mouth closed. Self-destructing is not pleasant. That's what I thought, Mr. Ren. Anyway, I wanted to ask you something, Alon. That black box I gave Ren to give to you, did you make any use out of it? I see. In that case, I won't delve into it anymore. I'm sure you'll figure out its secrets eventually. That's annoying. I've been hearing that noise a lot lately. Is everything going okay? No, everything's not going okay. Everything's going piss poor and I'm angry. Who knew reconstructing every single cell of a person could be this so difficult, sorry. My mother could do this with her eyes closed. She's talking about Katsu, by the way, if you've forgotten. And I can't even get close without bugging something out. Is there anything I could do to help? Ren, you've asked me this question all the time and the answer is always no. This is something I have to work on myself because only I can do it correctly. Besides, there's something else that needs to be done and Madam X can't. It doesn't matter. It's just going to take time that I'm running out of. So, not the one theory that I wanted to get into, but I want to go into another little like speculative rant here because I feel like that's something people can definitely, overlook. Because, like, it's a really interesting thing that she's got going on here. There's not a lot I can get into because, like, there's, again, not a lot I can really say, but I want to touch on it and talk about it. So, if you don't want to listen, that's totally fine. Go to the comment section below. There will be spoilers, so, yeah. Alright, I'm back. Sorry for the pause there. I'm also kind of keeping an eye on some storms that are coming through because we got some pretty nasty ones. But, onto the spoiler rant here. So it's honestly like an interesting thing because, again, like I mentioned earlier, I feel like it's something that's not really touched upon too much. Maybe it is, I don't really know. But just to say it, it's not really a normal thing, at least I don't think it is, to like, like reconstruct cells and whatnot. Well, I mean, like it probably is like a thing. I'm not really smart with like science stuff, but it probably maybe is a thing in real life. I don't really know. But I mean, like, the idea to like reconstruct something to bring like a human back to life, like Gira for an example. So it's a really interesting thing because you go back to Varaya, how whatchamacallit, she alright, sorry for the pause there, went to close Discord, but oh my god, what was I saying? Sorry, I'm also like keeping an eye on like the weather stuff as well. If any of you are going through like some of this really nasty weather that's going through, stay safe out there. I know you're gonna see the video afterwards, but hopefully all is well with you. But back to the spoilers and all of that. Like Katsu reconstructing like cells to build a person. Right. It's not normal, right? It's weird. Going back to right, Varaya, like how she wanted to study like the souls, and it seemed with her and like Adrest, there was a time where they were at the Spring of Rejuvenation within one of the past scenes and whatnot, if I'm not mistaken. So it's one of those things with Katsu. I feel like there's a possibility that she's like a descendant of, I don't know necessarily of Varaya per se, but again with the Z, not Z. What's her name again? Is it Z or no V? I think V's her name from the Missing Children side quest. The one with like purple hair with Anna and Dylan, that girl. I think on one of the quests, like she mentioned, like there are people that very rare amount of people have like some like DNA of Varaya, and maybe Katsu is like one of them because again, she has the rejuvenation building. I think it kind of aligns a little bit with Varaya's original goals and whatnot, kinda. I'm not too certain on all of that. That's just me speculating and just throwing mud at the wall and seeing if it sticks. But I do feel like to an extent it might be possible. But of course, we don't necessarily know what happened to Katsu, but we do know that Nastasia's here now. And while she's able to do it, she's nowhere near as good as her mom. So, yeah, but again, it seems like she's the only one that is able to do this. And that little like slip up there of her saying, well, Madam X can't, and she kind of like stops herself because she's like, wait, I shouldn't really be sharing that. But whatever. But yeah, it seems like she is like very crucial and very important to Madam X and Team Z because there's something that she can do that the team cannot do. So yeah, it's a really interesting thing with Nastasia, honestly, and that's pretty much it on all of that. There's not a whole lot I could really get into and say, honestly. So yeah, it's just something that I wanted to talk about and just make it aware. So yeah. Alright, I'm back. Sorry for the pause there. I'm recording this part now about a few hours later. I think on the first part I got to about, what, 35 minutes in? Something like that. I don't quite remember, but yeah, like I brought up on the first part of the video that I'll, combine and edit and whatnot. I was talking about how we had some storms. I thought I was going to lose some power, but thankfully all is well here. But yeah, it definitely seems like a lot weren't as fortunate, but yeah, for the most part, it wasn't terrible, but again, some others, didn't get so lucky, so wishing them all the best. But anyways, enough of that. It doesn't matter. It's just going to take time that I'm running out of. Yikes, Nastasia. Look at Alon's face. They look so lost. In that case, let me enlighten them. Follow me. Well, go on. Follow Nastasia. It'll make a little more sense. Oh, hey, Gira. The makeshift transporter Gira and his grunts made was pretty poor. It used the psychic power from 2 Abra. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think you could fly back there and capture an Abra if you wanted to. I don't quite remember if that is a thing anymore, but I know on the older versions you were able to. And since we have fly, we might actually check that out at some given point. But anyways, As you could imagine, something like that wouldn't be too stable. In fact, it wasn't stable at all, and what Crescent did didn't help either. As a result, Gira's self was corrupted and split into 1,000 pieces. You hear me? 1,000 pieces. Pieces that I've been locating one by one and putting back together. As of this current moment, I've only located 898 pieces. You know, that's something that I've always liked about like Nastasia, because she's like, oh, it's only 898, when most people probably couldn't even do what she's doing now, so it seems like it's something like she, in a sense, like she has like this, how do I want to word it, like, oh, what's that like personality, like trait? It's like, I don't want to say like belittling yourself. It's not really like that at all, but like, I can't find the right word. Like, you've accomplished so much, but yet you're like, yeah, to you, but to me, it's only this amount. There's more that needs to be done, you know? And she doesn't really look at her accomplishment. Well, not that she does. It's hard the word, but I think some get where I'm going at with that. It's still incredible that she's able to do that, because many probably couldn't. Do you want to know what kind of hell I've been through? Nastasia. He spoke. What? That shouldn't be possible. Right, that happens too. Would be interesting to look at if it didn't hurt like hell. I just want you all to know that this really friggin' hurts. Fix me already. So it's a little bit different than the older version, but he still kind of gets a little bit wacky there. I'm working on it. You just sit there and do whatever it is you're doing. That's all I really wanted to show you. You may leave now. Now real quick. Stat. Move away from there. That's none of your business. Right, okay, so that's still a thing within the game. That's it. Shoo off. I have work to do. Status pod Gira. Status alright, I guess. You saw him, right? Pretty bad shape. But Nastasia is determined to save him, so I think he'll be just fine. So, I think now is a really good spot to get into that one longtime viewer's theory with Nastasia. Now, this will get into heavy spoilers. I'm going to reread his comment from the older video that I made. And, of course, I'll give the number if anybody wants to read it as well. But again, this was his theory, not mine. I'm going to read it, talk about it, and there's honestly a few things that I want to add to his idea, because it's a very interesting idea that's really got me like thinking quite a bit about Nastasia in particular. So yeah, heavy spoilers ahead. If you don't want to listen, that's totally fine. I'll try not to be super long, but this rant is probably going to be a pretty long one, so yeah, again, you've been warned. Yeah. Okay, we are in heavy spoiler territory. If you don't want to listen, that's fine. Go to the comment section below, skip on ahead. So, yeah. Okay. Before I say anything, I want to say it one more time. I know I've done it multiple times, but I really want to say it multiple times just so people know this is not my theory. This is his theory. I don't want to name their username just in case, because I know there may be some that don't want their username like read in a video. I don't know if it really matters, because like you could find them in the comment section, but regardless, just in case, I won't say the username. But this is again his theory, not mine. I just found it very interesting and I really want to talk about it. It is on episode 104, Anastasia and Katsu Bruh. That's pretty much the title of the video if you want to read it for yourself. But I will read it here. Again, one final warning, heavy spoilers ahead. It's his theory, not mine. I just want to add and talk about it, so yeah. Okay, so here's my theory on Anastasia and Katsu. I think Anastasia died after the battle between Vitus and Nimra, but was saved by Spacia and Tempa. Evidence about this is in the Renegade route, where one of the Storm Chasers that time Hag's killed mission was notified, and it's just like a certain amount of like number symbols there, about the protagonist being in the SS Oceana. So I want to reread that again. Evidence about this is in the Renegade route, where one of the Storm Chasers that time hags killed mission. Oh, I assume Spacia and Tempa, where I guess like people call them like hags within the game when they died. So maybe in that area, I guess. I don't actually remember that. I'd have to look at my Let's Play again to see if I could find that. But anyways, was to notify about the protagonist being in the SS Oceania. The blank is 9 letters long. The only person we know with... No, isn't... sorry, he wrote that wrong. That's fine, I do the same thing. I suck at, you know, typing out words correctly. I assume he meant to say we know... let's just say no, someone with 9 letters is Anastasia and Cassandra. And while I wouldn't rule out Cassandra, I'm more interested in Anastasia, which is right. I think that's the right opinion, because like I don't really think because like you could use like common sense, and well, it can be Cassandra, sure, maybe so. I would safely assume not Cassandra. I just don't really, again, just with common sense and what is it again? What's that phrase? Oh my goodness. Like you can't like guarantee it, but educated guess. That's the phrase that I'm looking for. It's like an educated guess that you can assume it's not Cassandra. It could be, but I really don't think it is, and I agree with him. It's not Cassandra, in my opinion. But again, it could be. But anyways, but I am more interested in Anastasia. Anastasia became a storm chaser, and her mission was to play a double agent for the storm chasers in Team Zen. Now, it's a really interesting line there, because think about it this way. It's not the first time that this has happened, because now I think he talks about Crescent soon, and I want to latch on to that with my own ideas with her. But again, it's not the first time Crescent has done this, right? She did it with Ren. She wanted somebody to go in, get the info that she needs, and then whatever happens, happens, right? So I assume kind of similar to Ren, something happened with Anastasia with the Storm Chasers. If that is true, which again, it's just a theory. So keep that in mind. Anyways, Anastasia became a Storm Chaser, and her mission was to play a double agent for the Storm Chasers in Team Zen, explained by her unauthorized missions. Right, now, he brings up a very solid point here. The SS Oceania was not, you know, something that was greenlit by Madam X. The mission that is happening now is something that is not greenlit by Madam X. She's doing this on her own without her permission. Now, it's kind of an interesting thing, because some people may be like, well, wouldn't Madam X be, you know, knowing of this? Yeah, she probably is. But here's the deal. Let's just say Madam X, similar to Madalis. She tried to kill Madalis. She got so mad and infuriated. Like, you did this, you did that, you destroyed, you know, your own lab. The Shadow Project is in ruins. You messed up everything on Team Valor. You're just a screw up. I'm gonna kill you now. I'm done with this madness. She tried to do it. Neve intervened and said, calm down. Stop. You could be mad at her. That's fair. But you need her, despite your anger. And I feel like, not necessarily, because like I think Madam X to an extent isn't going to be as harsh with, you know, Nastasia, because again, the line that Nastasia said earlier, there's something that Madam X needs that only I can do. And then she pauses like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but whoops, whatever. Now that's another thing too. It's kind of an interesting thing. Nastasia is normally one to not really like slip up like that. At least I wouldn't think she would. But you could even like say it in a sense like she could have done that purposely to the pro tag if she also is like a double agent in a sense, kind of like giving that little tease. Like, I won't say any more than that, but I just said it. It's out there. Do what you will with that information. So yeah, that's probably me just overthinking that line, but regardless, it's interesting to like look at all the small and big details with Anastasia, or Anastasia, tomato tomato. But yeah, like again, I feel like to like an extent with Madalis, Madam X is like, I'm done with this, but then Neve calmed her down, and Madam X is like, okay, I'll give you a chance, but after that, you screw up one more time, it's over. You're done. I'm not doing this with you anymore. I don't now, depending on how, like, let's say like Nastasia like screwed up multiple times, maybe there'd be a different reaction, but so far, Nastasia is probably the most like competent and best admin within Team Zen. Now, some can argue maybe Cassandra, because like Cassandra is not a weak trainer by any means. I would safely assume, Nastasia is the strongest admin and probably the most, productive out of any of them. So, not saying any of them are not important, but I would assume Nastasia is one of the most, if not the most important admins within Team Zen. So it's one of those things that, even if Madam X was mad at it, of her like doing like these experiments and missions that weren't authorized by her, she can't really do anything about it because like Anastasia is something that's irreplaceable. She can't let her go. She needs her. So there's that whole bit as well. But anyways, reading on ahead. At the same time, Katsu was working with Madam X to start Team Zen, which is why Nastasia is so high ranked, because her mother was one of the founders of Team Zen. So now that's an interesting thing. That I'm honestly unsure about, because it's a really tricky thing, because it's like it's hard to like, because here's the thing, I've always thought that there was a whole thing that like something happened, Katsu died, Madam X like took over in some way, shape, and form. But with this idea, it kind of like changes my idea a little bit, with being like, oh wait a minute, hey, Madam X knew Katsu personally. She was involved. Katsu's now out of the picture. How? I don't know. Maybe Storm 9? Maybe another reason. I don't know. But something happened. But now Madam X has taken over the building. The Rejuvenation, Corp is now, Team Zen HQ. So yeah, and again, like you said before, and that's why Nastasia is so high ranked. Like again, like she's very valuable, but not only that, because of her being the daughter of Katsu, it makes sense. That one I don't know, because like it I see it, but I honestly think it's a whole nother reason. But I could be wrong. Anyways. Also in Karma Files, Crescent says she can't talk about the SS Oceana and why she tricked Ren. Since she was a former Storm Chaser, she probably planned those two missions with Anastasia. Right, now that's a thing that I can definitely get behind, because like again, if she says that about Anastasia, it could definitely cause a lot of issues, not only for, Nastasia, but for the group as well, knowing that kind of like information, because imagine if one of them like screws up, and like I can see like Malia, like similar to like Madalis within the factory afterwards, she's like why don't you join us? I can see Malia trying to be all friendly, like, hey Nastasia, why don't you try this? And then Madam X is like, wait, what? Huh? What's going on here? And then yeah, that's why it has to stay classified. Crescent can't give out that info. If she does, it could really screw up a lot of moving pieces that are going on right now. So that I understand, it can get behind. Also about Redden Island, I am pretty sure that place is Mount Ruin, which belonged to the people of Sashila Village, and where the Dark and Light Stone are there. And the same place where Celine and Madam X had their first fight. Now, if I'm not mistaken, right, like, the island with Team Zen HQ is next to, like, that volcano area. I would safely assume that is true, that, Mount Ruin is pretty much there, and that's where the battle went down. There's not a whole lot more I could really, like, add to that. That just makes sense to me, honestly, but, yeah, it's a very interesting amount of like paragraphs that like he read in there, honestly. And back then, when I was like younger and whatnot and just playing this game throughout the years, I just never really thought of something like that. Now, I've always thought of the idea that Clear and Kieran possibly are like double agents, you know? And I think to like an extent, I don't want to like play that song and dance too long right now because I want to focus like more on like Nastasia. While that might be true, I feel like it's like a mix of both. That like even like Madam X herself, she's like, yeah, I know. I know y'all are doing this. I get it. But we need one another, so may the best man win, or woman win, whatever, you know, or person. It doesn't really matter. But the point is, the best, you know, person in this entire game wins. Like, may the best win, pretty much, is what I'm trying to say. So, because, like, she brought it up during, whatchamacallit, Malia, where Malia was, like, talking to Madam X, like, you're not gonna win. And then, like, you know, Madam X is like, we'll see. And then, like, we go away. Back then, on the older version, the text was a little bit different. Or maybe it was the same, and I just don't remember it. That might be the case, but I remember there was a line from her where she's like, well, may the best person win this. Whether it's you or I. The best one that, you know, plays this, you know, this elaborate chess game the best wins. That's that. I can lose. I don't think I'm going to. But may the best person win. So, yeah, but anyways, enough of that song and dance. So, the things that I want to add to, like, this idea and theory, which is honestly, like, a really interesting thing, is I honestly want to go back to Helio Jack Factory with that scene with Nastasia, the admins, us, and then Crescent appearing. I want to go to that scene because if I remember correctly, after she appeared, Nastasia was like, okay, we're leaving. We're backing off. I ain't doing this with you. Now, of course, some new viewers or repeat players may be thinking, oh, you're overthinking it. It's clearly because Crescent would wipe the floor with them. It's not that, you know, big of a deal and you're overthinking it. Maybe so. Maybe I am overthinking it. But again, that theory, that idea that he had makes me rethink of some things that I thought about, and it re-changes my thought process. And I want to look at it at a different angle. While yes, I would safely assume Crescent is probably stronger than Nastasia. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong because we've never seen Nastasia battle at all. But not saying like she's like weak or anything like that, but again, like she's very strong, so is Crescent. I don't know who's the strongest of the two, but let's keep it simple and let's just say Crescent is the stronger one. Whether it's by a lot or not by a whole lot, doesn't matter. Let's just say she's the strongest one. Nastasia backed off. She's like, okay, we're leaving. Not doing this anymore. And it's kind of an odd thing, too, because, like, we were clearly surrounded. But ever since she pulled up, it changed things. And I think in my mind, Nastasia's like, okay, I see what's going on. I'm not meant to overstep here. I'll back off. I'm sure the admins will totally understand it and not think this is weird or fishy. Back off. And the story continues. I go back to the second, sorry, not the second, the 12th version. And I think, 13th as well, where the scene was different. Helio Jack Factory or Island was different. I think it was just called the Wetlands. You go into a factory. It doesn't look like the one with V13.5, but it's the older one. You go underground, you see Crawley below with Malia, and we kind of like walk in, and Nastasia's there, and she's like, oh, well, Crawley, you lost. You suck at battling. And she didn't word it like that, but it was something of the sort of like, I could have done this with like, you know, my eyes closed or my hands tied behind my back. It was something like weird like that, like mocking him, like how terrible he did. But again, at the time, she was very capable of, you know, beating Malia, and of course, you know, Crawley for him losing. Why didn't she push it further? Why did she leave? She could have easily taken Malia, and that's it. You know? Why didn't she? And it's something that I thought about for the longest time because, again, I've always used the excuse and the theory of it cannot be that way. Madam X knows that you know, she has to play it in the way that, you know, Varai has created it. They go out of line, bad things happen. She has the time diamond, she could revert it if mistakes are made. Right? Right. Yeah, right. She can, because like she's done that before with us within like the other like past timelines and whatnot. Of course, besides like the the Doom, not Tomb, Doom timeline, that was a catastrophe. But again, it worked itself out. But anyways, um, for a lot of events, she's claimed that like she's done that not for us to protect, but for other players as well. You know, look at Canon for an example, and possibly other admins that she has saved as well. But going back to that initial thought, what if it's a whole nother thing that she's like, let's not do this. I'll just make up some random excuse not to really get her. We're just gonna leave, goodbye, and that's that. I think it could have also been a thing that during that time, like with her being like a storm chaser, it would have been a bad thing if she just grabbed Millie and just like went on with her day, you know? So yeah, I just feel like with the Heliojack, it just played out better and made more sense with Crescent up and appearing, because like with that, it kind of actually gave like Anastasia like an excuse to be like, oh, whoa, we're backing off in the helicopter now. Let's go, let's go. But with the older version, she was like, nah, I'm just gonna leave. Goodbye. It wasn't exactly like that, you know, with her and Ren down there, but plain and simply, she could have won against all of us and just be done with this and took Malia, but she didn't. So yeah, there's more that I can get into. Whether that is true or not, I don't know, man. I really don't know. But it's a really interesting thing that he brought up, and I very much appreciate when like me and him like talk about certain like theories and whatnot, because like it's always fun hearing from him and like even like other people from like time to time that like will, you know, comment stuff on the videos. It's just fun speculating and thinking about these kind of things. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. We'll find out in the future. So yeah, and again, there's more that I can add to it, probably so, but we dragged on this theory far longer than I should have, so we'll leave it at that. Alright, we are out of spoiler territory. Definitely a lot that was said there, but yeah, and again, thank you to that longtime viewer. It was his idea, his theory, not mine. I just wanted to add to it, so yeah, thank you again for that. Very much appreciate it. Okay. What? Oh, right. You jerks. What was that for? Sorry, girly. Maybe next time watch where you're going. Yeah, just because we're in a truce doesn't mean we gotta be nice to you. Idiots, you wanna fight? Oh, what? You fight us? You're on our turf, hun. Fine, then bring it. You got it, you two. Aegislash. I forgot we should be okay. Hopefully. This is kind of a fun idea. Let's see how this turns out for me. Well, at least we got the charge bug out. Not who I wanted out, but something. Let's go into a Lola Muck here. I shouldn't really have to do like a thing showing the team because it's just a grunt battle, so. Okay, defense fell. Yeah, let's knock off. Get rid of your item. Oh, you don't even have an item. Well, I should have gone for Crunch then. Surprised you didn't go after the darn Manitan. But what's done is done. Okay. Oh right, I can go to level 85, I forgot about that. What? No. This is awkward. Man, are you kidding? We lost to her? Now stop making a scene and go run off somewhere already. We won't forget this. That's okay. I will. We were awesome, as usual. At this rate, things won't go as badly as I thought, considering the position I'm in, or will be. Let's settle down for a bit, though, okay? You and your Pokemon must feel real tired after everything, yeah? Why don't we perk ourselves up a little? Check this out, Adano. Do your thing. Now, I'm pretty sure this won't go immediately to the cutscene, because I do want to battle Ellie and Sharon, though. Hopefully it doesn't instantly go to the scene. Isn't that refreshing? I feel great. Thank you, Adano. Adano here specializes in healing, and that's especially true while in her Mega form. She's been a real big help. We won't have to rely on Pokemon Centers or healing stars with her around. Only problem is that Adano can't stay a Mega forever. Eventually she'll revert back into her original form, and then her healing won't be as powerful. Kreese loaned me a Mega Ring and Audinite, but I haven't gotten it to actually work yet. Guess our bond just isn't strong enough yet. Oh well, it can't be helped. Eventually things will get going. I just know it. In the meantime, I have a real juicy story to tell while we wait. It involves our dear friend Texan. I bet you're interested now. So what do you say? Give me a second. Alrighty, I'll be here whenever you are ready. Okay, cool. So, before we do that, I know we didn't really do a whole lot, mainly just dialogue and theories. Also, it makes me curious. I wonder where those grunts went. Somewhere. But, right. They're all level 80. How many? I'm pretty sure I stockpile a ton of them. Yes, I did. Okay, so what I'm going to do... Well, real quick, let me just make sure the battle still happens. So, like, we got time to kill and all. If you want to pass some time by battling, I wouldn't exactly say no. Oh yes, that would be so much fun. Let us embark on a violent journey at once. On our violent journey at once. Shrugs. How very disappointing. I was looking forward to a friendly sparring session with me and my friends. Perhaps reconsider. You're kind of cute when you use big words like that. Greetings, Alon. Isn't this a wonderful day to travel? Yes, it is. Okay, so for now, what I'm going to do is let me pause here. I'm going to get everybody up to level 85 and create a team that I think will work against them. I'm trying to remember her team and his. I know, what is it, like Miss Magius, Gyarados, I think he's got like a Tangrowth, Honchkrow, and like a few other like Pokemon that I don't quite remember. It can be a little bit tricky because I think they, well, on the intense mode, I forgot if they have 12, I think they have 12 Pokemon total. I would assume on this version it's probably going to be only 8 or 10 that you have to beat, which is still kind of like tricky, well, for like a no items run. But yeah, and I might look up that team again. I don't quite, well, real quick. What do you start with? Dawn Fan, Hutchcrow. Not the, I mean, I could play it real quick. I don't think we win, because like, I would rather be a much more higher level than this. You know? I mean, I'll show the team. I'll give it a try. I don't think this team would win. Nor am I, again, expecting it to, but I'll at least let it ride and, I don't know, see what happens. Ice Shard, okay. Okay. Let's go into you. Multi-attack. Probably a misplay to go for Roost, but yeah, it's just gonna go for Ice Shard anyways. I was thinking about Sucker, but Ice Shard priority, so yeah. Yeah, multi-attack, just... I mean, Flame Shard is fine. Oh, I thought you took the hit. Okay. You're pretty spooky, I'm not gonna lie. I'm out, right? I'm surprised you took the hit. Nice. Arcanine. Whoops, I almost misplayed there. E-Speed, Crunch, Miss Magius. Okay. I kinda wanna go after the bear. And head smash you. That was insanely lucky, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, that's fair. We both critted one another. Totally fair, I'm not mad about that. Oh, what? I thought you would have had more. Well, you still have one more Pokemon, right? No, you don't. That was super easy. Back then, it was way more... I know we did like the intense but no items, but I can't help. I know the older version was way more difficult than this one. Well, I mean, I guess we won. Okay, that was a little anticlimactic. So maybe it is only 6 Pokemon, because like... I can't help but remember that, but I know like we did like intense mode, I'm not trying to like think of that, but like V12, V13 when I didn't do like intense mode, you know, well V13 didn't have it, but like V12, no, I'm sorry, V13 had it, they took it out in V13.5, right? Right, I think I'm mixing it up, but anyways, yeah, I guess it's just not as difficult as it used to be. Okay. I mean, yeah, did we expect anything different? Oh no, we lost. Didn't see that one coming. Right, Ellie? Oh darn, I thought we actually had you this time. So sad. Next time though, we'll work even harder to defeat you. Yes, we will. Until then, please have a marvelous and productive day on. Teaching you English was a mistake, a complete mistake. What? You won. What else do you want? We don't want anything. We don't have anything to give you, so just leave us alone. Wow, you won. I can't believe you did it. I'm in awe. Please keep getting stronger. I can't tell if that's sarcasm or if you're just annoying optimism. Either way, stop it. Halting. Just say stop. It's not that hard. Affirmative. Never mind. I've always loved these two, man. They're really fun. It really, like, sucks if something, like, happened to them, like, down the line, you know, within the game. I really hope not, but... they're really fun. They're fun to be around. And then I'm pretty sure... there shouldn't be anything else. Loctite. We'll do this next episode because it's very lengthy. Can we... this is also messed up. Can we really not heal them? Right, we read all this before. Okay. Critical. Okay. I think with that being said and done, we'll end off today's episode here, since we're probably way over an hour, so... yeah. Or maybe not, actually, because I really thought that battle would have been longer. We're probably over an hour, probably. Who knows? I'd have to like look honestly. But anyways, what I'll do next episode is I'll get every. I just realized we only had like level 80s when we could have been like level 85 for that battle. So yeah, I guess it did get nerfed pretty heavily within this version. But anyways, what I'll do next episode is I'll get everybody up to level 85, so we are all up to date with our levels, and then we'll go through the whole Texan story with Alita there, continue the game and whatnot, and we'll just keep on a moving. So yeah, anyways, that'll be it for today's episode. Love you guys, take care of yourselves out there, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Good morning.